Bad news for Ethiopia and Ethiopians. Uh, it seems that the thousands of Ethiopians could be deported in coming hours. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. It's good to be with you. I was traveling for the last 6 to 7 days. I've been traveling. Now I'm back home and I made 4 videos a day during my travel too. But now I'm back home, so we can stay more in touch. Two main topics in this video. Firstly, thousands of Ethiopians face the risk of deportation in coming hours, not in coming days, coming hours. Secondly, towards kidnapping for ransom, which generally happens on Oromia Amhara border, it seems has spread across Oromia now. An incident happened involving 50 abductees in another part of Oromia, far away from Oromia Amhara border. Let's start, viewers. Firstly, uh, thousands of Ethiopians could be forced to return to Ethiopia after they have been given 3-day deadline to return to their country. I am not talking about Djibouti. Yes, we know that Djibouti gave a deadline of the 2nd of May, I think, to Ethiopians, 1 month deadline, going to expire in the first week of May. Ethiopia tried to get 3 month relief, 3 month extension, but Djibouti refused. And now Ethiopian embassy in Djibouti is registering the Ethiopian citizens in Djibouti who don't have valid documents and they should return to their country. So these Ethiopians are being registered at the Ethiopian embassy in Djibouti. Djibouti's government says no compromise. After the expiry of 1 month period, which started at the start of April, which will end in the first week of May, all Ethiopians without documents will have to leave the country. Puntland made a similar decision a few months ago at some videos. Now Somaliland. Somaliland has given only 72 hours to illegal migrants or refugees without documents to leave Somaliland. Most of the effectees are Ethiopian, just like in Djibouti. Most of the effectees are Ethiopians. Here too, majority of foreigners in Somaliland without documents is Ethiopian. Question: how will they return just 3 days? I mean, it's impossible. If you have been living in a country legally, illegally for a long time, you have your investments there, you have pending wages, you have your property, sometimes not in your name, but you need to sell them off. So it takes time. Djibouti's 1 month period was seen as if it was small, but Somaliland gave just 3-day period. How will Ethiopians manage to sell whatever they have in Somaliland and just be ready in 3 days to return to their country? Difficult. Let's see what happens. But in Djibouti, we're already seeing a campaign of arrests. Though deadline has not expired, but Djibouti's security officials have already started detaining Ethiopians. That could happen in Somaliland. So thousands of Ethiopians in Djibouti, in Somaliland, now could return. Ethiopia doing the same to Eritreans. Though Ethiopia is deporting Eritreans in hundreds, not in thousands. I did a video 48 hours ago. I told you about some Eritreans, around 300 to 400, who were deported by Ethiopia in recent days. In recent months, over a month ago, less than 500 Eritreans were deported from Ethiopia. Ethiopia is also deporting Eritreans. But there are tens of thousands of Eritreans in Ethiopia. We cannot say that all the Eritreans are being deported. And majority of them is without proper documents. Some have registered, some have filed cases for registration. Let's see what happens. Some of these decisions are political decisions, I think. Deportation of foreigners of neighboring countries sometimes is linked to security issues. At other times, the decision is basically there's politics behind these decisions. If Ethiopia, Somaliland improve ties and they again sign some strategic MOUs, Thailand will never expel Ethiopians. If Ethiopia relations improve, Ethiopia won't export Eritreans. Yes, politics is behind these decisions, but there are security issues too. And yes, countries should regulate their borders. I think illegal migration should not happen because it leads to a burden on the host country. Uh, Secondly, there was kidnapping for ransom case, which happened in Oromia. We reported several kidnapping for ransom cases which happened in North Shore Oromia in the last few months. Hundreds of passengers were abducted from public vehicles by armed men. Same pattern, ransom is demanded. Most of the victims are from Amhara ethnic group. And whenever this kidnapping for ransom incidents happen, people accuse Ola. They say Oromo Liberation Army is operating there and Ola is against Amhara people. That is why only Amharas are targeted. But it seems that kidnapping for ransom is not specific to North Shore. It's not that only Amharas are being kidnapped. Some criminal groups have entrenched themselves in Oromia. They have expanded their operations and they're operating in different parts of Oromia. We cannot say that it's just Ola. Ola could be involved, but I don't know. But there are criminal networks which are involved in kidnapping people for ransom. Two incidents happened in southern Oromia, far away from Amhara border. In Sere, Wareda, RC, around 50 passengers were kidnapped 24 hours ago. They were on their way from Sere, Wareda to Adama city in a public transport vehicle. Armed men intercepted the vehicle. They kidnapped people, took them to unknown location. In Abamsa, Wareda, which is again in Oromia, several people were kidnapped 3 to 4 days ago. So it means that there are criminal networks operating in the Oromia region. And this kidnapping for ransom is a systematic crime being committed by them. Shimalis Abdisa takes pride in that development. He says that under his presidency, Oromia has turned into a place which can feed not only the people of Oromia but others too. Coffee production of other crops has increased manifold. But he should also talk about the security. What happened under his presidency in terms of kidnapping for ransom incidents? Any decrease? No decrease. Rather, kidnapping for ransom now is happening across Oromia. Extortion is also rampant. Businesses have to pay money to armed groups, to organizations which are operating in Oromia region. It's not that just Amharas are being targeted. Either Shimalis Abdisa government is incompetent or it does not take these crimes seriously, because poor Ethiopians suffer. If high profile Ethiopians are targeted, then government will be worried. High profile Ethiopians, they travel by air sometimes, and they use public transport less than poor Ethiopians. Generally, poor people suffer. That is why perhaps action is not taken, and such incidents are continuing across Romania now. Thank you for watching.